MuscleTV, proudly brought to you by Maxines, for the body you want, and Maxes, because life's too short to be small.
There's no cure for this one! 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 This one! This one! This one! There's no cure for this one!
Hello everyone, I'm Tony Doherty and welcome to another special week of MuscleTV. Now, those of you that joined us last week would have seen our documentary special on the Maxine Shape Up Challenge, the most effective 12-week transformation challenge in the business, and the 10 special women who were named in our top 10 in 2013 that shared their incredible stories with us. Well, tonight it's a guy's turn, and their stories are just as inspiring as their incredible transformations too. We've said it before, but with registrations for the 2014 challenge open very soon, we thought what better time than now for you to see these awesome stories, folks. So it's time to sit back again and meet the 10 blokes that were pretty special. Not because of their individual stories or what they achieved, but because of what they were doing before they started the challenge. They were just like you, sitting at home watching TV, probably wanting to make a change to get into the shape of their lives. The difference is they signed up for the challenge, they stuck at it for 12 weeks and got these awesome results. Let's hear their incredible stories.
So the challenge is a 12-week body transformation contest. So just think of it as having your own personal trainer. As a whole, the challenge is all about getting in the best shape of your life for 12 weeks. I remember a long time ago, someone said to me, the results are really done in the gym, the hard work's done on the ground floor. But what we did is we provided a platform or a structure for people to make sure that they did get the results. And we added things like a forum in this year's challenge, and we did the weekly videos and the weekly tips and a whole lot of other information. So we were kind of a step ahead with people's thinking process. So we sort of understood behaviours in week 3 as opposed to week 8. And we got on top of it. So what we're finding is that more and more people are seeing the benefits of the challenge. It's like this invisible energy that I've talked about in the past. And the fact that more and more people are seeing the results and people are getting curious about, what are you doing? Oh, I just did the Max's challenge, or I'm doing the Max's challenge. Wow, look at you, you look amazing. What's your secret? Well, the fact of the matter is I'm following this step, I'm following this formula. So the feedback we're getting is phenomenal. There's a lot of challenges out there and a lot of so-called magic formulas, but I can tell you with conviction that this actually works. And what you get to do is you take your before pictures, and there's a private section or a public section, so it's really entirely up to you. It doesn't matter where you are. The fact is, if you've got internet facility and you can log on, that's the only requirement, and you don't have to actually train at a gym. You could train at home. You could actually be with a personal trainer as well. Doesn't matter whether you're from outback New South Wales or from central Melbourne. The fact of the matter is we had people from all walks and all ages of life. We had women in their 60s in the top 10. So it just goes to show, no matter what age, no matter what walk of life you're from, you can enter this challenge. So the total prize pool is over $100,000. Look, the winners They get sponsorship deals for 12 months, they get prizes, they get holidays. A lot of them get into the Max's Muscle News magazine. The winner gets to go on MuscleTV. But what we've found is that people are in it not just for the prizes. That's not the motive. The motive is to get in the best shape of their life, and the prizes are just a byproduct of that. So the word quickly spread, and people got to know about it, not just through our own advertising, but through other people that had actually done the challenge, were telling their friends the challenge is the best thing to do. Wow, the results were absolutely mind-blowing. There were so many unbelievable transformations that we were supposed to pick a top 30, but we actually picked the top 50. And the truth is, we could have easily picked the top 100. So one of the things that we didn't change was that we needed to pick a top 10, and it's the absolute best we've ever seen. This year's top 10 in both women and men have been phenomenal. And so the top 10 in the men's division were Jai Warwick, Neil Carhill, John Shilton, George Hazuri, Craig Williams, Ashley Purvey, Didier Ducasse, Jason Kenny, Romy Shuri, and Glenn Black.
My name's Craig Williams. I'm a business manager for a family-owned transport company.
I'm from Laidley, Queensland, and I have a second-hand shop. It's in a small rural town, and I'm married with 5 children.
I'm married, been married for almost 10 years, 10 years next year, and I have a 5-year-old daughter, Chloe, 4-year-old son, Kane, and a 2-year-old son, Bo.
My name's Jay Warwick. I'm 31 years old, from Burleigh Heads on the Gold Coast. My wife and I run a cafe together.
My name is Didier Ducasse. I'm from Pakenham, Victoria. I'm a building estimator, and I've got 2 young boys.
Yeah, my name's Jason Kenny, and I'm from the Gold Coast, and I'm a full-time owner-operator of a cafe restaurant.
I'm from Canberra, almost born and bred, 44 years of age. I like Canberra, I love the location. I'm happily married to my wife Justine. We have 2 daughters, Madison who's aged 13, Ella aged 9.
My name is George Hazuri. I'm 26 years old and I'm from Brunswick. Me and my brothers own a family business, a fish and chip shop.
For work, I'm a police officer and I work in the dog squad out of Brisbane. Been in the police for about 13 years and the dog squad for 9, nearly 10 years.
Hi, my name is Romy. I'm 29 years old. I come from West Brunswick in Melbourne and I'm an electrician by trade.
Yeah, I work for the Department of Human Services. I've been in the public service for, I think, about 21 years now. It is a fairly sedentary job. You know, I do sit behind a desk. When you're behind a desk, unless you make the commitment to be active at lunchtime or before or after work, there's certainly a good chance you will put on weight, and you do actually see that in the public service. It is one of those things we talk about in the office, that there is access to an awful lot of junk food.
I haven't always been in shape. I'm always like going up and down. I'm more always out of shape than I am in shape. I still go to the gym, but never trained at the intensity that I'm training at now. I've done something similar, but not to this extent. I was dieting in summer, like just to get a bit more into shape, and then I broke my leg, so that was pretty tough. I sort of let myself go even more from there.
Yeah, when I was younger, I was certainly very active. Played sports since I was 6 years of age, and every year I was always in a club sport. So even into my early mid-20s, I was very, very active and quite fit. But yeah, once I hit my mid-30s and had a relationship breakdown, yeah, everything went sort of downhill. So I lost my way significantly. Yeah, the reason I was out of shape, I didn't train for about 6 months at all. My training before that was very sporadic. I was in the gym maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but it really had no purpose. I'd just go in there and lift weights and chat with a few people that I knew, and I didn't really have high intensity workouts where I finished the gym thinking, that really hurt. So after talking to a few challenges last year, I really wanted to push myself with the training, especially in the gym. I didn't feel I was setting the best example for my kids because, they'd see me go to bed sometimes with a can of Pepsi or a can of Pepsi Max or a cup of cordial, and my youngest boy would always be asking me for a juice instead of water, and they were doing that because they could see me doing it. So I needed to change.
Yeah, I've sort of been training at the gym every now and then, probably since I was 15 or 16. I'd sort of train for a while and then I'd sort of give it away and then be back into it again, and I was training in gyms, and then when I moved up north away from the Gold Coast to a little town, there was no gym, there's only 80 people in town, so I thought, well, if I need to do some training, I'm going to buy my own gear. But, training by yourself's not particularly motivating, especially in a small town, Then when I moved back to where I'm living now, which is a bit more into suburbia, I still had that gear and I sort of acquired a bit more stuff here and there, but, having a wife and 3 kids and working sort of shift work and all the other sort of stuff, and it's just hard to try and find time to do stuff.
Through my teens and early 20s, I did a lot of boxing. I was in the military. So I was really always had an interest in fitness and really kept myself really fit. The past few years, getting towards my late 20s, when we got the business and sort of time restraints and things like that, it just all went downhill from there. I was probably stuck in a bit of a rut.
When I first heard about the challenge, I was in a pretty bad place. We just had a flood and we had a lot of things going on. We had a bad couple of years. My wife had open heart surgery and we'd had a lot of complications, just life in general, and everyone's got that sort of thing. But basically I was in a bad place and I was really unhappy with everything, and I sort of thought to myself, what can I change? What am I in control of? I saw a picture of myself on Christmas Day in a white t-shirt opening Christmas presents, and I didn't like what I saw at all. I was up around 130, 135 kilos and really unhappy with myself. I started the challenge at 118 kilos, just over 118 kilos, and I finished the challenge at 83 kilos. So it was 33, 35 kilos, something like that I lost in the first challenge, and it was just life-changing for me. I went from a size 44 pants to a 32 pants, and I hadn't worn size 32 pants since high school. But I felt that last year because I didn't get the abs, I didn't quite achieve what I set out to. And so this year's challenges, I sort of said to myself, I need to finish what I started, and I needed to get the results that I wanted, and I wanted to be, even if, I didn't make the top 50 or I didn't make the top 10, I just wanted to have the before photo and the after photo and just the peace of mind that I said I was going to do something and I followed through on it and did it.
What had actually happened is I had remained very active up until my 40s, really. So I was actually pretty fit while I was playing footy. But my wife and I decided to take our children out of school in 2010 to travel around Australia. And when you're travelling in a camper trailer, there are times when it becomes difficult to prepare meals. So we sort of started to have pizzas on the odd occasion and fish and chips, and that was fine because we did do a lot of walking on our trip and we did generally stay active. But at the end of the trip, I got home to Canberra, got back to my desk, decided I actually enjoyed all that horrible food and sort of kept at it. As the exercise dwindled, I didn't actually rein in the eating. And of course, the weight basically started to pack on. I started to feel bad. There came a time I went to the doctor and got some cholesterol testing done. My cholesterol was at 7.3 about a year ago. I think the healthy range is 3.5 to 5.5, so that actually freaked me out a bit.
Because I'm quite tall, 6'6", I was quite skinny, and I was a little bit self-conscious of that. So I started getting into weights and things like that. So yeah, for about 5 or 6 years, I have been in the gym pushing some weights, just trying to get bigger. And yeah, but ever since then, I sort of let myself go, and sort of life and different things stopped me from doing that. And I guess at the end of the day, it was the excuses.
It all started for me 2 years ago when I decided to shred some weight. I realised that, I put on a bit of weight, felt uncomfortable about myself. So I set myself a bit of a challenge to lose about 12 kilos within, a 12-week period, so 1 kilo a week. And it went well. I actually lost 16 kilos. I kept it off for a little while, but put it back on very quickly. So Never really had a structure in place to take me through, obviously, the next phase, to just keep it off and maintain it. It was hard to, you know, as a father, as a husband, to come home and you know, not be happy and not want to play with the kids at the time, you know. It's difficult to admit, but, you know, I love my kids and I want to be there for them every day. And when you realise that, you know, you're your worst enemy and the only obstacle that you're putting in front of you are your own, you really need to find something or a way out, and the Max Challenge was exactly that for me.
I started training when I was 19 years old. About 4 years ago, I probably got into the best shape of my life. And then I was going through a few things in life, and training didn't become important anymore. I put on nearly 20 kilos, which was disappointing in a way. And then at the start of this year, I decided that I wanted to get back into shape. So I just kept eating crap and just trying to push heavy weights, thinking that's the best way to do it. There was a guy from the gym who I knew by face, didn't know by name, and he came up to me and he said, "Mate, I've noticed you've put on a bit of weight. What's the go?" And I said to him, "Oh, look, I'm just trying to bulk up, you know. Then I want to lean down for the summer." And he's going to me, "Oh, why don't you do the Max's 12-week challenge?" And I said, "Oh, mate, I don't think I'm interested in getting up on stage or anything like that. It's not for me, you know." And he said, "No, there's no stage involved. It's just a before and after photo. And, you know, you do a blog along the way." But I kindly declined his offer. But he kept nagging me about it, and I said, "You know what, it might drive me to get back into shape."
Well, because I was into the weight training, I did actually know of MuscleTV, and I used to, you know, because with work in the cafe, I was always so busy, so I used to always pre-record it. Then I had this episode I hadn't watched for a while, and I turned it on probably about a week before the challenge, and it happened to be of all the interviews of the last year's challenge, top 10 challenges. And I was just sitting there well overweight and very unfit. I thought, you know, this might be something I'd want to do. And then, you know, I sort of started thinking about my brother also. He was diagnosed with some pretty serious complications health-wise 2 months earlier. And I thought, you know, this is a great opportunity to take the old philosophy of lead by example and do something about it and show him that it can be done. Probably late April, I got a call from my mother about 2 a.m. in the morning, saying he'd been rushed to hospital with pretty serious, he had an erratic heartbeat, fluid on the lungs, and he wasn't in a bad way, and they managed to resuscitate him that night. He made it through the night, and he was 160, he's probably only about 6 foot, so 6 inches, you know, shorter than me, and he had basically a heart functioning of a 90-year-old, so he wasn't in a good way. He ended up being in hospital for 2 months. I guess watching him through my journey showed him that it can be done, and that's originally also why I did this challenge for him.